Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, Deanna. I think it's a little later. Maybe it's morning for you. I'm at 11:30, so it's afternoon here. But thanks for joining. We're gonna go through a couple of companies that are experiencing some price movement today. The biggest winner of the day, the biggest loser of the day. I'll go through and see what the filings are saying. I know there aren't a lot of companies reporting today, so the other thing that I'll do is I'll kind of quickly just look at the biggest winners or losers on the day with regards to the market. Nothing too crazy. I'm looking at the market movers. Moderna down 7%, but it's had a massive run, right? We all know who Moderna is. JD.com is down 5%. NetEase down 5%. We'll see if there's any news that's what's going on, but Tesla is going to is having investigators look into it with the autopilot. Folks, there's a lot of very serious concerns about these companies because if we start giving companies the ability to autopilot or auto drive, and we have a foreign actor step in and hack into them, we can have serious problems with regards to political assassinations overseas, right? Through a car, they can basically, kill from a keyboard without even a drone, but they could weaponize their technology against us. So I do think that some of this stuff we're going to have very serious, candid conversations as a society if we want a company to have that kind of authority over our safety when we go through the world. And I know where I stand on it. I'm not cool with it. And I don't know if I'm going to win the argument, but I do think that we have to speak up if we disagree with the way some of these things are playing out, because otherwise artificial intelligence will be our demise. It's not going to be the AI that kills us. It's going to be people that use AI to figure out creative ways to kill us. It's a big difference. Everybody always thought it would be like Terminator 2, where you have robots doing all the killing, and maybe that'll happen one day. Who knows? I have no idea. All I'm saying is the AI is going to do it subtly. They're going to do it very stealthily. They're going to do it through our food supply, our water supply. They may do it through causing people to commit suicide, as we've seen in the past year. They could do it, through because of depression and so forth. It can be ostracizing people that they don't want to live in this world if they're ostracized. So these creative evils. I mean, I hate to use the word creative and evil in the same two words next to each other, but they are coming up with, I guess you can say, conniving evils. They're connivers. And we have to be on guard about it. So anyways, let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen and take a look at this stuff here. Okay. So I was just pulling up Tesla because of that news story. But if you look here, these are some of the companies that were supposedly reporting today. Okay. And we're just going to kind of quickly look at who the biggest winner is, right? And who the biggest loser is. So today, make sure here. So, and we're going to focus, folks, on the larger companies. If they're micro caps, I'm not going to go over it because micro caps swing around too quickly. Just there's not enough volume so that the valuation is gonna bounce around a little too much. So we're just gonna go here. We'll do a quick little sort, and we're gonna see who the big winner and the big loser on the day is so far. So, you guys can't see that. Let me expand my screen. Okay. That's a little better, I hope. There we go. Okay. So, let me see here. So we can go sort, and we're going to quickly show who's the big winner today, who's the big loser. Here's the market cap here, column D. Just quickly format that, and here we go. Okay, so there's a company down 8% today. Okay, but the thing is, it's in a country that I don't even think we should be doing any business with. So I will not be talking about this company. I do not think that Chinese stocks should be able to be listed on the U.S. stock exchange. That's a super popular thing to say. But I think that we should not be allowing countries to list on our exchanges that are communists and undermine the sovereignty of not just our nation, but sovereignty of each individual. China is one of those nations that does that. They are not our friend as much as they try to claim they are. This stock, 10-cent Music Entertainment, is for some reason it's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's down 8% today. It happens to be down, look at that, $30 to $9. I have no opinion on this stock, folks. I'm not saying to buy it, I'm not saying to sell it, but this is what I am saying. I personally believe every single Chinese stock should be removed from the United States. That's my personal belief. That's not a financial decision, that's a personal decision, because we're aiding and abetting the enemy of the United States. And so you can see it's down 53% this year. It went public this year. And guess what? If the Chinese government was issuing a bunch of stock here, they're like, those Americans, we'll take as much money from them as we can get. Let's just issue this stock over in their markets, tell them everything is hunky-dory, and then we'll crash the stock afterwards. Who knows if they're doing that? I have no idea. I'm just saying that I don't trust a foreign government that has a mission to undermine freedom worldwide. It does it without any concern whatsoever for what we think about it, frankly. So anyways, 8% today for what it's worth. So now let's just go to, let's see, we've got to find a company that is a little bigger. How about we go to FBIO? Okay, so FBIO is a biotech stock, okay? $11 million of revenue, you can see right here to the right. But 11 million, but 9 million in losses, not my cup of tea. I'm not going to try to figure out if they're going to be the next one-hit wonder or something, or maybe they will. Who knows? It's not for me to find out. Too much work. It's the too difficult pile, as I like to say. So let's look at AZRE. Okay, Azure Power Global. This company is, let's see where they're at. They are based in India. Look at that. So now we have Indian companies coming into the United States as well. I do think it's interesting. I got these Chinese companies listing here, more of them. Got more Indian companies listing here. And what the heck is going on? Why don't we have more American companies getting listed? Well, because of this ridiculous legislation called Sarbanes-Oxley, which crushed people from going public with a reasonable cost, right? So it was all set up on Enron. Enron, when that imploded with WorldCom, they passed a bunch of legislation to make it very difficult for small companies in the United States to go public. So instead, these global companies go public in the United States and use up our capital, while small companies and emerging companies in the United States are shut out. And so that's the reality, folks. We need to reverse Sarbanes-Oxley. The number of publicly traded U.S. companies was cut in half since that legislation was passed. So here's another one. Let's see this one. This one is called, oh boy, another Chinese one, Ideanomics. Ideanomics, folks. This one is public here too. Look at this. Another billion-dollar company. Folks, all the companies reporting today, it's wild. They're all Chinese. The three largest ones I pulled up, two are Chinese and one is Indian. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. Wow, look at this one. This one went to $5. It's now $2. Lost 40% of its value. Bruno Wu. Don't mess with Bruno Wu. Here he is, Bruno Wu. Okay? He's in Shanghai. He's in China. And this guy, Shane, decided to say, you know what? I'd like to make some more money doing something with China. Look at that. Isn't that something? He's part of the McMahon family from WWE. That's very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. Shane McMahon decided to partner with a country that is committing a lot of rights violations, not just against animals, folks, but against people. They're doing a lot of damage over there, and they're trying to bring the whole thing to the all over the world. So those are the two founders. But some guy named Alf Poor is the CEO. So I don't know what. That's pretty interesting. I don't have time to look into his background, but there you go. There's another one. Folks. This is kind of disturbing here. Now we got this company right here. This is another international stock, KZMYY. It's worth $5 billion. What is this? Okay, London Stock Exchange. It's listed in London, and look at that. It is Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan, it's a British copper company out of Kazakhstan. Isn't that something? $5 billion. Here it is, U.S. I don't know. Okay, so folks, I got to find something to talk about. My wife's over here like, what the heck's going on today, Bobby? She's laughing over there because I can't find anything that's U.S.
Why don't you look at Honest Company? Honest Company.
No, but I need to find a big winner and a big loser of the day.
Yeah, but Honest Company was a big loser last week.
Okay, so here, this one, Freight Car America, is based in Chicago. Look at that. That's where I was born, folks. I was born in Sweet Home Chicago, which right now, unfortunately, is run by a communist. But 1901, I was founded in 1975. Anyways, so Freight Rail Car, okay, it's up 10% today. Okay, let's take a look. Let's look at the videotape. Okay, 32 million. Holy moly. They lost $38 million in income. Let's see if that's cash or if they lost goodwill, and they wrote down their book value. Okay, so let's go to SEC. We're going to go take a look at rail since it's up 10% today, just to see what's going on, see if we can learn something new. Freight rail. Okay, we're going to go right there. Now we pull this little guy up. Today is the 16th of August. Okay. And okay, look at that. Revenues are up 114% year over year. Wow. 313 rail cars delivered. That's good. That's good news, folks. Manufacturing income was up 1.9 was 1.9 million. First positive result in 3 years. Maybe manufacturing is going to come back to this country. What do you guys think? Adjusted EBITDA was only negative 1.5. The loss was 2.6 million. So something's off on Google, because Google said there was a $38 million loss. Let's take a look. They have a backlog of 2,200 rail cars worth $224 million. So what does that come out to? That comes out to about $100,000 a rail car, folks. If you got to do the math, that's about a little over $100,000 times 100,000 times 2,200 rail cars would be about $220 million bucks. So it's just over $100,000 a rail car. So then they're going to produce 1,700 and 1,850, up from 1,600 to 1,750. That's a good sign. They raised the bottom number 150. The top one, they went up by 100. Okay, so let's take a look. There we go. Here's the restructuring, folks. So they did do a restructuring charge of $6.7 million in the first quarter. And this is why they probably took that down. So let's take a look at their balance sheet on here. All right. Here we go. $20 million of cash, down from 54 in December. So it doesn't look as bad as it looks, because inventories went up by 10 million right here. So 10 million, it went up by 10. So cash went down by 33. But then this number here, a VAT receivable, went up by 15 million. Okay? So then we'll go down. Total assets are down 12 million first 6 months of the year. But like I said, they probably wrote down good value, their book value. Okay? They did something. Let's find where they wrote it down. Current liabilities are pretty much flat, about 70 million. both times, 71 to 69.5. That's flat. Warranty liability. Wow, that went up quite a bit. Warranties went up by 20 million in 1 quarter. That's kind of crazy. We'd have to see why warranties went up so much. All right. So then accumulated deficit went up by 38 million bucks, 39 million. So now their book value went from 30 million to -9. So they had to take some type of write down. Okay, where's the write down? I'm trying. Maybe the write down is these warranties. That's 18 million worth. And their total liabilities jumped 25 million. That tells me they must have lost the lawsuit. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe they lost the lawsuit because it's not showing up on their revenue. So right here, see, gain on fair market value of warranty. So they must have had an accountant change, and then they took a big. It's called a kitchen sink quarter, where they throw out all the bad things that happen. Wow, and they raised the share count by 5.5. Okay, so wait, no, you're talking about a little less than 8 million shares. So folks, then they must have bought up another company. That's what happened. You don't issue this much stock and take a massive charge on goodwill unless you acquired somebody. And maybe that's why their revenue spiked, because a year ago it was 17 million, now it's 37. So that tells me they acquired somebody. So let's take a look on the cash flow statement if they did in fact acquire somebody. So see, loss on change in fair market value of warranty. See, this was a non-cash item. So, they changed the balance sheet. They said we're going to owe it, but now it doesn't mean that they're out the cash just yet. It means they have to put aside money to possibly pay out these warranties. Okay, that's the deal. So, but their overall cash position did drop by 44 million year over year for 6 months ending. Okay, so they spent 8 million on inventory buildup. The VAT receivable, they had to pay that out, 16.8 million. Accrued pension, 6.7 million there. And then here we go, proceeds from long-term debt, 16 million. Folks, so I don't see any acquisitions here. Maybe they acquired something in the previous quarters because they purchased. Any acquisitions would have showed up right here in investing. But they did issue more debt, and they did hit their line of credit. So that's $23 million right there. But they repaid $11 million of another line of credit. So that's the deal, folks, on Freight Car. So somebody is thinking things are improving. You can see the adjusted EBITDA number right here. It went from a negative 10 million a year ago, 3 months ending, to 1.5 million loss. So you can see they cut 90% of their losses. So whatever they're doing to restructuring this company seems to be it seems interesting, right? It's one to probably keep an eye on and see if they're going to do anything else. So I feel good that we found something that was positive. This helps explain why it's up 11%. I have no opinion as to whether or not the stock should be a buy or sell. I'm just saying it's worth looking into to see, and whether or not it's something that makes sense in the future or not, or based on what you're doing. It might make sense for your portfolio if you do a little more work for yourself. So that's what I would say. So let's look at a loser. I mean, we'll find something that's a little smaller. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. So we're going to go to ATCX. Okay. So ATCX is down 7% today. And so this is a consulting firm based out of Texas. Okay. We got an American company that's down. Let's take a look at why is it down. Okay. So they reported today, $420 million company, right? So ATCX. Okay, not 400 million anymore, but let's take a look. So we're going to go to ATCX. Okay, that's weird. Why didn't it pop up? ATCX. Okay. So they didn't report yet or something. Hold on. Why is it down if there's no report? Let's see if there's some news on it. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Market watch is always good. No, I'm not seeing any news, folks. Wow, huge customer data breach. T-Mobile sends the stock down. So my wife said we should look at Honest Company because it went public last week. It's let's take a look how honest Company is. HNST. This thing went public. It's based out of LA, $300 million of revenue, and it's worth $900 million. Wow, is that right? So it went public, I guess on is that right? Hold on a second. No, it went public. Wow, May 5th. So it went public a little while ago, 3 months ago, and the stock went from basically $23. It hit $23.88, and it's now down at $10. This is called a busted IPO, folks. It was $14 on August 12th, and then it went to $10 on Friday the 13th. It got gunned down. So I'm curious why it went down that much. It was founded by Jessica Alba. Not bad, Jessica. So let's see. HNST. Let's take a look at what did they say that drove the stock down $4. And the only way to get an honest answer is to go to the corporate filings where they have to disclose what the heck is going on. It's tough to listen to the press about anything. And the same goes for your money, folks. You should look at the data yourself because there's a lot of I guess you can say exaggeration and other things that happen on some of these stations, I guess. So 7th quarter of year-over-year growth. Revenue grew 3% and 20% respectively. Digitally native, mission-driven brand. Clean lifestyle. Okay, the first half. Wow, that's why it got popped. They're only showing 8% revenue growth. That's all they showed. Folks, if you're going to be selling at 3 times revenue, right? It's $900 million. The revenue is only $300 million. It's still 3 times revenue. That's a big problem if you only show 8% growth. You got to show at least 12, 15%. 8% is not going to cut it. And that's why the stock got clipped from 14 down to 10. So that's even with some kind of accelerated COVID stock up surge in the first half of 2020. Okay, so they have some clean conscious diapers. Let's take a look here. What's their business like? Okay, skin and personal care increased 16%. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why we would compare it to 2019. It's irrelevant. We should compare it to 2020. But diapers and wipes declined 2%. Okay, so that was, I guess, a big part of their business. Household declined 6%. This is what scared the hell out of everybody right here, folks. If this is a new growth company and you're already showing declines as you're public, what is going on? That's the issue, folks. It's pretty interesting. So here's the revenue. You can see this is not a huge part of their business, but it's still declined. Diapers and wipes is their biggest part of their business, and that declined. That's a big problem. They better figure this out and figure it out fast, because it's still 3 times sales. And so to be at 3 times sales and to show a top line loss is not good. SG&A, so look at that. Even though they have a top line loss, their SG&A is up 100%. And then marketing is up 32%. So one of two things is going to happen. They're aggressively going out, trying to get new venues to sell their product, and they're really putting the money. They're really putting their I guess you can say they're risking their capital that they raised from the IPO to expand. They're going to say, you know what, we're going to hire a bunch of salespeople. We're going to get out there. We're going to push this product, and we're going to kick. SG&A would go up if you were building out your sales force, and then as they do that and they're increasing their marketing spend, maybe they ran a lot of promotions, so they're trying to get people to switch over to their products, which is why it hit the top line. I don't know. I'm just telling you that these are some logical reasons why this would occur. And, maybe it's on the earnings call. So the question is Honest Company worth looking at? It's too, I have no opinion, folks. I'm not telling people to buy it or sell it. But, I'm a conservative. I'm a little more conservative investor than most. I would be more inclined to look at it if it was like, I don't know, 20, 30% cheaper. Like that's just, I wouldn't short it here. But I wouldn't buy it here either. Just, because I think I like to buy when there's a bigger margin of safety, but I still wouldn't buy it 20 to 30% cheaper unless what I just said was holding to be true. So if I looked into it and they can't just say it, it's got to be happening. Oh, we're building out our workforce. We hired, another 25 salespeople, and we expanded in these states. And right now we're going for market share in these markets, and we needed to discount to get people to come on board a little more aggressively than normal. And if they were doing all those things, at the right price, it could be an honest company worth owning. I don't know. Couldn't help myself. It could be an honest company. It's tough to find honest companies nowadays, but it is an interesting name to have for the company. I'm curious how much of I'm curious how much of the company is owned by Jessica Alba. I would definitely want to know that, and just because I'd be more curious to see whether or not she would be a seller, if she's holding this long term, and whether or not there's a lockup period. You need to find out all these things when you're looking at these startups. But it only has 191 employees. That's a pretty rich valuation, because 191 employees, you're talking about, what are we talking about? About $5 million of enterprise value per employee, right? So that's the deal. I mean, that's a pretty interesting, that's a pretty interesting valuation. That there's a lot of faith being put into this Jessica Alba and her team, assuming she's involved with the management. Maybe she's just the name, but there's a guy named Brian Lee from South Korea. He's one of the people that is on the board as well, and the co-founder. So that's interesting too. Anyways, so that's the deal, folks. I hope you guys find it interesting. Look into the SEC.gov on any companies that you want to better understand for yourself. You could always check out information, these little broadcasts that I make. Obviously we're kind of moving past earnings season with the bigger companies, but I'll always be trying to find something to go over, even if nobody's really reporting of size. So thank you guys for the positive comments about my little spiel, I guess, in in Yorkville yesterday. My little speech. If you guys haven't watched it, you can go check it out at Bobby Piton for U.S. Senate. I did get some texts that's saying I'm really courageous or brave or possibly just really stupid. It's one or the other. But anyways, you know, obviously the truth is the truth. If we don't speak up about it, we're going to have much bigger problems. And so, I have to speak up. We have to get the word out. We have to start doing things to correct this. It's not just about saying it because, I'm not trying to antagonize anybody. I'm trying to tell people what the hell is really going on. And people may not want to hear it, and people may want to be oblivious about it. But if we're oblivious about it too long, it's not going to work out too well for us. So we have to start fighting back before all is lost. And we don't need to ever fight. We don't need to get violent, folks. We need to get organized and do stuff. So that's all I could say. We have to get organized. We have to take our communities back, precinct by precinct, voter by voter, and it shouldn't be about whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. We all need to get involved. We need to have fair elections, and we need to do our part to get more people engaged in being active citizens. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will talk to you soon. God bless.